here's why office workers commonly get sciatica. So as office workers, they usually think they don't really bend, they don't lift at work. Why are they getting lower back pain and sciatica? So here are two reasons why being an office workers who sit for long periods of time can cause your sciatica or your lower back pain. So what happens during prolonged sitting? So two things can happen during prolonged sitting. So one, it is increased disc compression. This is what a normal spine will look like in a human. This is what a lot of office workers are like. So in the normal spine, we have that reverse C curvature happening at the lower back. Our mid back is a more mild C curvature, which evenly distributes the load and the weight throughout all of our disc. When you sit in a slouch position and your hips tuck under, what can happen is you get an increased curvature in your mid back, which flattens out your lower back curve. So when that flattening happens, what can happen is you tend to load a few discs more than the others, and then you create stress points in the disc. This is not good for the spine, as it has the chance of overloading and causing disc protrusions. Accompanied by the second risk is when you sit for long periods of time, you can reduce your disc nutrition and also water content. Water content is very important in disc because the more water it has, the more load it can absorb. So the lower the water, the less load it can absorb. On top of loading the disc unevenly, you create stress points in the disc. So you can see how this is a normal disc. You see the annulus is very bright. That is a signaling a disc that has normal water content. Whereas in this one and this one below, it is a bit darker, which means that there's less water in the disc, and this usually means the disc are less susceptible for compression. You can already see in this one down here, the disc is protruding out, and it is already compressing onto the nerve. When this happens, you can get lower back pain, glute pain, pain down the leg, tingling, numbness, and stiffness. Common mistake people make is trying to stretch out their pain. So if they get lower back pain, they get pain under the glute, behind the leg. They think it's a muscle issue and they try to stretch it out with different stretches they find online, on YouTube, on TikTok. And although it may give temporary relief, it's not fixing the underlying issue. So what usually helps more, although it may not help in the short term where you're still quite painful, but as long as you stick with these guidelines, you should get meaningful improvement. So here are the things that will improve your pain. So we got regular movement throughout the day, we got improving hip mobility, so improving your hip hinge mechanics when you bend, and also gradually rebuilding spinal load tolerance. That's your tolerance in bending, your tolerance in different aspects of movement. You got walking, strengthening the surrounding muscles, and reducing like sitting in a desk, in a chair for long periods of time. And lastly, gradual exposure back into bending and movement. So just a point I want to come across is sitting itself is not automatically dangerous. It's the amount of sitting that you do. If you sit for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours on end without moving, it can reduce that water content in the disc and load your disc in a uneven way, which may cause your symptoms to be worse. So if you're an office worker and your sciatica has been bothering you, feel free to click the description, click the link in the description below and put in your name and your email, and I'll get my free office sciatica reset guide sent to you. Peace.